Alright, let's dive into this story because it's equal parts fascinating and deeply confusing. So, here's what happened. A film called Satluj gets yanked off a streaming platform globally, and instead of just complaining on Twitter, fans start putting piggy banks in temples to raise money for the filmmakers. Wait, what? That's not a joke. And the director's response? Thanks, but no thanks. This isn't just about a movie, it's a window into how art, activism, and identity collide in ways that feel uniquely Indian. Let me break this down. First, let's talk about Satluj. If you're not familiar, it's a film about Jaswant Singh Khalra, a human rights activist who uncovered mass illegal cremations of Sikh men during Punjab's insurgency era in the 90s. The movie's journey to screens has been anything but smooth. The government reportedly asked for 127 cuts. It got pulled from a film festival after Indian authorities complained, and when it finally dropped on ZEE5, it vanished within 48 hours. No explanation. No warning. Just gone. And here's where it gets wild. Fans started placing Gullaks, those little donation boxes, in Gurudwaras to raise money for the filmmakers. Like, what century are we in again? Now, the director, Honey Trehan, had to post an Instagram note saying, "We appreciate the love, but we don't want your cash." And honestly, I respect this decision more than I can explain. Think about it. Here's a team that's just lost a ton of money because their film got censored, and they are being handed free cash by fans who want justice. But they are like, nah, the real value here isn't financial. That's the kind of integrity that feels almost radical in today's content-saturated world. It's like they are saying, our message matters more than the money we could make off this. Which raises a bigger question. How often do we see creators actively turning down donations tied to their work? Almost never. That choice alone elevates this film from a project to a statement. But let's unpack why fans reacted this way. Placing Gullaks in Gurudwaras isn't just about fundraising, it's a cultural act. In Sikh tradition, Gurudwaras are community spaces built on principles of selflessness and equality. So when people use that sacred system to support a film about human rights abuses, it's not just a gesture, it's a political act. They are merging spirituality with activism, which feels powerful but also risky. Because once you start treating art as a quasi-religious cause, where does that line blur? Is the film itself becoming a symbol of resistance? Or are fans projecting their own unresolved histories onto it? And that's the deeper layer here. This isn't just about censorship. It's about who gets to tell history and how. The Indian government's pushback against Satluj isn't random, it's part of a pattern where stories about Punjab's past are treated as dangerous. Why? Because they challenge the official narrative. Khalra's real-life investigation exposed state violence, and a film retelling that threatens to reignite conversations that authorities would rather keep buried. So when the film disappears from streaming, it's not just a business move, it's a silencing tactic. And fans placing Gullaks in temples. That's their way of saying, we see you trying to erase this. But here's the twist, by rejecting donations, the filmmakers are drawing a line. They are refusing to let their art become a fundraising vehicle, even for a good cause. That's the kind of move that makes me pause. It would have been so easy to say, yes, take our Venmo, but they didn't. Why? Because accepting money could have shifted the focus from Khalra's story to the filmmaker's financial loss. They are saying, this isn't about us, it's about the truth. Which makes me wonder, how many of us would make that call? If someone offered to fund your passion project after a setback, would you take it? Or would you prioritize the message over the means? Let's zoom out for a second. This whole saga reflects a larger tension in Indian society between state control and grassroots activism. On one side, you've got institutions trying to erase uncomfortable histories. On the other, you've got fans weaponizing their cultural practices to fight back. And in the middle, artists caught between integrity and pragmatism. What's fascinating is how Satluj has become a battleground for these forces. It's not just a movie anymore, it's a symbol of who gets to define the past and shape the future. So where does this leave us? With a lot of questions. Will the film ever get a proper release? Will the legal battle over its removal set a precedent for other politically charged content? And most importantly, can art truly challenge power structures if it's constantly being suppressed? I don't have answers, but I do know this. The fact that people are still fighting to see this film means its legacy is already secured. Whether it's on a streaming platform or whispered about in community spaces, Satluj has done what great art is supposed to do. It's made us feel something, think deeper, and in some cases, open our wallets for the right reasons. What's your take? Drop a comment below, let's dissect this together.